Right now, I'm surrounded by enough football talent to open up not one, not two, but three expansion franchises. We welcome Ray Lewis, arguably the best football player of the modern era, along with Eddie George, a man who won the Heisman Trophy at Ohio State University before a prolific career with the Tennessee Titans. Eddie, I want to ask you, first of all, about Ray Lewis, and don't be a diplomat. Inch for inch, pound for pound, is Ray Lewis the best pure football player of the modern era?
No question. I've had the opportunity to play against him for 8 years of my career, and when you look at the players, the great warriors that have played the game, Jim Brown, Lawrence Taylor, Earl Campbell, to name a few, you have to put Ray Lewis in that category. I mean, there's only a few guys in a lifetime in each era that you can say that they're at the face of that era. And from 96 until 1996 till now, he is the face of the NFL in terms of what it means to be a complete player, not just defense, but all of football. So no question. I mean, this is work ethic, his heart, his leadership. We shared conversations over the years, and just how he had to bring out the best in me every time I had to go against him every Sunday. It was a week of preparation. It wasn't a day. It was an entire week that you had to prepare, because you knew it was going to be a very long day, and after the game it was going to be a very long week to recover. But I have to say, in hindsight, looking back on my career playing with Ray, it was an honor to go head-to-head with him during that time frame that I played, because he will definitely go down as, if not the top, one of the top players to ever play the game of football.
Decade and a half of pro football. You still have a great passion for the game. You're as ferocious now as you were 10 years ago. Do you worry about leaving football? I mean, do you worry about not having the rush of adrenaline, the Sunday fix? Does that concern Ray Lewis?
No, I really don't. Honestly, I think, in year 15, going into year 16, I've never stopped loving it more now. I didn't understand what loving it meant back then. I just rode off passion. Now, when you get older and you understand it, I tell people all the time, I would never want to go back to my 20s because of what I know now and the way I enjoy the game now. So the way I appreciate the game now, I'm going to play the game until whenever the good Lord says it's time for me to stop, that's when I'm going to stop. But I love it too much to stop right now.
I want to ask you both about the factor of head injuries within the NFL, within college football, for that reason, high school football. Eddie, this game is being played by bigger and bigger individuals who are faster and faster. Where is pro football going to be in 10 years? I mean, in my opinion, very dramatic changes are going to have to be made.
I think they're going to great lengths to try to make the game safer. More than what I like, because I would like to see those same rules apply when I played. But you have to understand, when you put the helmet on and the pads on, you step in between the white lines. Injury is going to be part of the game, and unfortunately, head injuries are part of that. I think they're definitely trying to make players like Ray and other players become more conscious of where they're hitting and how they're hitting players that are considered defenseless. But I see the great game of football continuing to grow. I don't think it's going to diminish by any means. We play a great game, and unfortunately, injuries are part of it. But that's why you play the game. The risk is associated with that.
Ray, if you were to retire right now, I mean, if you walked inside Bo Jackson's charity event and said, game, set, and match, I'm retiring as a football player, how would Ray Lewis want to be remembered?
Only through impact. Nothing, no football play that I've ever made that God would ever remember, ever. But everything that I've ever done to touch another man's life, to encourage him to keep going in life itself, that's the only thing I fight to be remembered by. The game is a stepping stone, of course, but when you talk about that legacy and what would you be left with, that's what you were leaving. And trust me, I'm a bigger fan than his than anybody can ever tell you, because we met in 1995, and our relationship from there has always been this bond, but it was built by a certain reason, because we knew that one day we wanted to make our names great, and we made our names great by going after each other. You know what I'm saying? I found a warrior years ago, 1995, coming from Ohio State, who looked at me and said, "You ain't ready for me," and I was like, "Oh Lord." But what it did for me in his career and getting up for each other, there's no greater reward. You play this game one way, but the bottom line is when you play it the way this man played it and the way I played the game, you appreciate the game. And that's when you go back to the head injuries and all of this. Do you appreciate what they're trying to do to stop the head injuries? Absolutely. But man, I watched this game when this game was built off one thing: by any means necessary. And when you got a back like Eddie George coming at you, you ain't thinking how you gonna hit him. You trying to take everything you got to get him down.
And I felt everything he thought. He's trying to bring me down. Trust me.
I've heard the phrase over the years. Playing a football game is like getting hit by a car. Is that really true?
No, it's worse than that.
And let me tell you why it's worse. Because a car don't have feelings. A car don't feel nothing. The only thing you may feel is a freaking dent in your bank account because you got to pay for it. If your insurance didn't come through. But we feel it. Yeah. So we need to let everybody know that. We go out there and these great warriors go out and they strap up them helmets. Every one of them take a risk every time. You saw the vicious stories. You saw all of the historic things about people not making it, paralyzed, and all these different things, man. So when you're able to walk away from the game or able to play the game and appreciate it and to be friends, because that's all the game is built for. Ultimately, great warriors to now sit back and reminisce with each other and remember what those times felt like. And to me, man, I think that's the greatest reward of our business.
Eddie, Dan Hampton, the Chicago Bears. Obviously, you know him. He's a card-carrying member of the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Magnificent defensive tackle, defensive end. He's had 18 knee surgeries. Hamp once told me that to him, it's a badge of courage. It's a statement that I did something that the average human being couldn't even dream about, couldn't even begin to comprehend. For heaven's sakes, this guy once played a football game because a surgeon was unavailable to perform a knee injury or to perform a knee surgery on Dan Hampton. This has been an honor. Eddie George, great to see you. Ray Lewis, I hope you play 20 years.
Thank you. I'm finna chill with Eddie in a little while.
Eddie George, Ray Lewis, two of the National Football League's all-time greats. This has been the Daily Copy. So long, everybody.